click it. Boop. All right, we are now live. Let's go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It has been 20 years on the dot since we last streamed.
Well, no, it was only been a month.
Huh?
Actually, it has been a month. What was the last episode uploaded? I'm gonna
I
double
don't know.
check. I'm gonna double check that real quick because oh my god, yeah. How's everyone doing tonight? I know we've been gone for a bit too. I'm gonna give y'all a life update too in just a moment. Yeah, it was a month ago.
Yeah, exactly a month. Crazy.
Yeah, holy shit. So anyway, it's time to break the news to anybody that is tuning in or listening to this as a recording instead of live streaming. If you're in the live stream, welcome back. But to those that are watching, and you will hear here, I moved out of my parents' place and I'm now in my new apartment. So therefore, Hot or Trash Podcast has a new studio.
Yeah, quote unquote new studio, but yeah, look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah, new studio, new apartment, new place too, new job as well. Yeah, lots of things were going on too. So I won't divulge too much into it as well too, because that'll get too personal. But yeah, I'll say towards like the beginning of last month too, I was in the process of like trying to get everything moved in to a new location now. Holy shit, it was very much like a chore and a pain in the ass to get everything like sorted out. At one point, we were almost not able to get the apartment that we were trying to get. That
Hmm.
one was a little bit concerning, but we managed to make it work, and here we are. New office, new apartment, and same old dipshit me.
Hell yeah.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep. But, anyways, that is at least for my part here too, because I'm the one that's really running the show too. And I'll be honest too, these two could technically may take the whole situation for themselves too. But honestly, it feels a lot better when all of us are together now.
Yeah, of course, it definitely is.
Hell yeah. Shoki, how you suck it.
Yeah, okay. We are
Oh
live.
god, we are live, Lloyd. God damn.
Okay. And they didn't hear this for 1 month, and
Oh, you know what? Fair point. And you also notice too that we're still missing the other person here. But that's okay too, because we just attended his wedding not too long ago. And now he's
Yeah, what was it, like,
yeah.
what was it last week?
Yeah,
last week.
no,
Man, it felt
well,
like forever.
uh, well, yes, we just got to see him with his marriage last week. It did feel like forever ago too. I'm not gonna lie.
It did.
Holy shit.
We've been hella busy this month.
Yeah.
Last month, I mean.
Yeah, who would have thought too that September was going to be the month where everything just started hitting our faces all at once?
Real though.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are-
hey, we've been through a lot.
We are here and I will be doing a lot more streaming content now too. Hopefully this time I could actually do some
Oh,
gaming
yeah,
stuff.
what are we streaming, Brian?
Yeah, well, in this case, our dipshit ass are the one talking about a whole bunch of shit like every other podcaster does.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
Oh my god. But in all seriousness too, I'm also glad the fact that like I get to do this shit again too, and now I can kind of hear the new setup in this apartment. If anything, I'll probably listen to it during like post-production too to see how it sounds over here too. Maybe I'll make the joke too where like I don't edit the sound for this portion of the video.
Then don't do it.
Nah, I'm gonna do it anyways just because I like to test myself on video editing. But nah, actually, it's not even video editing. I'm just making like sound or adjusting sound levels so that it sounds nice on upload. That's it, really.
Mhm.
But yeah. Well, that is mostly all my life update. Thank you for tuning in. I'm kidding. There's still a lot that I want to cover too. But holy shit, while the months were going on too, and I didn't do a lot of the podcasts, a lot of shit has been happening. Like, holy hell. Outside of like our lives going on too, just things outside of like what's happening in the world is currently eating shit right now. Specifically in the gaming space wise. Like, the fuck is going on there?
Everything's always happening in that gaming space.
That is true. But most definitely too, we'll do this like a callback to whenever we mentioned as a prediction that Microsoft was going to lean in on the handheld console and the cloud gaming part of it as part of like what they were going to tackle next. Now, I feel like when we last laid that out, we were kind of being like optimistic and hopeful that this was going to be a good thing. I was so wrong. We were so wrong when we made that assumption.
Assumption again.
It was something that like we thought it was like going to be like a good thing that was going to happen for a lot of people in gaming here, right? Like in this case, cloud gaming. In retrospect, for those that don't know, cloud gaming just makes it so that one, you don't need to have the actual game file on your computer, and instead you're using like a Microsoft Azure's or any other Microsoft data sharing space that they have that they're streaming game to your computer. Therefore, you don't really need to have like a beefy computer setup to play modern games. Which, in a lot of things, if you take away the fact that it's not Microsoft that's running it, it sounds like a good thing on paper. But unfortunately, this company too likes to also like piss in people's eyes as they're trying to make profits.
Yeah.
So what do I mean by this? The second time year in a row too, they increased their consoles across the board. So the handheld console that got revealed a while back too is now $800. What the fuck?
That's still the Asus one, or is that?
Yeah, that's still the Asus one.
Good Lord.
That's
I mean, technically, Asus does have an $800 one, and that's the more powerful version. I don't know if it's the same one. I never looked into it.
Yeah, but regardless, too, I don't even think the Switch 2 even costs that much. Oh, we'll get to Nintendo on another point.
Granted, the Switch 2 doesn't play like like in computer games or anything like that.
Although the Switch 2 likes to claim they do.
Switch can claim whatever they want.
Yeah, but there's that too. Everything is getting more expensive. Oh, and also your Game Passes now too. They've renamed a lot of like the original stuff, where it'll be like there's Core and there's a next tier up, and then there's the Ultimate Game Pass. The Ultimate is still the same, but instead they renamed Core to Essential and something to Premium and then Ultimate. They renamed that. They changed some stuff too, but what really matters too is that the highest end tier 2, it went from $15 a month to now be $30 a month for Game Pass.
Crazy work, man.
Microsoft, when there were players that said that they wanted the Xbox 360 days too, we didn't mean we wanted to pay $360 a year. So, a funny comment that I read to pick up that joke from, and you guys probably heard it like 3 times at this point. I'm sorry for that. Not really. But I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Microsoft is at this point right now, they're really just trying to like just bitch slap the shit out of their customers at this point. Just because there's been like mass cancellations going on now.
A lot of companies, man. I think a lot of big companies just want to find ways to like milk people rather than like create new things.
I mean, look at Nintendo, for example. They're still fighting in Power World about the lawsuit now. And they recently got another patent while the lawsuit was going on that made it so that one, they now have the claim or the IP protection for effectively Pocket Monster genres. I don't know how to feel about this either, because that just means too everything else kind of falls in line with that. Like arguably you could even say like Persona follows in that category too, where you are using like captured monsters to fight for you, but not necessarily. But it's already vague enough to what the genre covers that Persona may fall under that. So it's like a lot of ways Nintendo can now sue Atlas or Sega or any company that has like a remote feature that just involves battling with monsters with another monsters.
Crazy work, man.
And it's like, but what do you define monsters? There's no specific part about this. It's supposed to be very as broad and general as possible, just so that it affects a lot of things. Because Nintendo doesn't give a shit.
Doesn't truly work.
It shouldn't truly work, but here we are. That like it's been going on too, and there's a lot of game companies that are very much pissed off of what Nintendo is doing.
Yeah.
Or
I
if
don't
anything,
know.
this is gonna open up the floodgates of people are now gonna start patenting like other genre titles now too, and it's like this is just not gonna go. This is not gonna look good.
Mhm. I don't know.
I
I think Nintendo just needs some how do you say, just some very serious help.
I mean, their Switch 2 launch too, like they purposely didn't make enough of it because they thought that it wasn't gonna sell enough. Lo and behold, it sold way more than the Switch 1. I don't get these executives in Nintendo. They do everything to fucking shoot themselves in the foot, and they're also being the enemy of the people as well. Also, like shutting down a lot of charity events that feature their games for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just wild.
Yeah, it's like what kind of I, d- I don't know if they're purposely trying to be cartoonishly evil, but here we are, I guess. Right? I don't get it either. This shit is stupid. I hate Nintendo for this. To to be fair though, a lot of people still do, especially ever since like what they did with Smash. But regardless, oh man, lots of gaming stuff that's been going on. Silk Song released too, that was a while ago too. Great for that game too. But man, I've heard like a lot of other smaller developers are bitching, complaining too. That like, oh, these guys were also indie devs. They should also know too the like how much it is for indie devs to push their launch dates back. I was like, these indie devs didn't have to push their launch dates back. Hell, a lot of them actually pushed it back because they respected the game too, and they didn't want to take the thunder. Or to, in this case, put their game already at disadvantaged state in a
Everyone
game that's
complaining.
I don't know. It's
Why
like
is everyone
someone wants to,
complaining? It's literally, I mean, you're in a competitive market, you gotta be competitive.
yeah, and it's like if you have
But
the in this case the choice that you want to delay your game, that is perfectly on you. That shouldn't be in this case that this was because it was Silk Song as well. You in this case it may have been part of your decision making, but that should not give you the reason that you complained that it was Silk Song's fault that you had to push it. Mind you, I'm using that wordage very specifically on the word fault here. Like they're trying to put the blame on Silk Song when in reality it's just no, it's you guys. You guys chose to do this. You didn't have to.
I don't know why people complain, bro. I mean, they just need to. Yeah, I mean, they just need to not make games if you're gonna bitch and complain to this extent.
Yeah. Like, imagine if that was the case too. Like, would you have given a chance to if, let's say, Call of Duty like pushed all the other first-person shooter games out of existence? Did you think Battlefield pushed their deadlines back? No. Or if anything, they tried to like beat it too. And if hell, if they realize that like they're really behind, they will have to push it back too. Just because the game won't be like comparable if they try to release it on the same time frame as Call of Duty. I don't know. Also, Black Ops 7 seems to be lackluster based on everyone's personal opinions, but you know, it's a Call of Duty game.
Call of Duty has been lackluster for how long now?
I'm gonna say a solid 20 years. Just because you said the 20 years part when we started the stream, almost a bit.
Nice.
But
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Well, if anything, as much as like I would like talk about all the negatives, if anything, that's not really fun to do at this point too. But so we're gonna talk about something that's actually fun too. We're gonna actually kind of readdress whenever we did like an opposite or topic about remakes or remasters a little bit, just a bit. So I mentioned it on there too whenever we were deciding in this case should remakes or remasters be classified as like contenders or nominees for Game of the Year's stuff too. I think I had a different definition that I was like maybe they shouldn't and maybe they should get a separate category. But after looking at some of the remakes that came out, I'm like, okay, maybe at this point my stance about it did change on that based on like a couple of things that happened too. First of all, for those that know, and I did talk about JRPG titles a while back too, Legend of Heroes Trials in the Sky is currently out now, chapter 1, that everybody can play now if you don't want to play the old PlayStation 1 game. It's better graphics, it has a revamped gameplay system, and the story is pretty much the same, or there's some adjustments, but it's really good. I need to like actually finish the original before I play this one, but nonetheless, too, if you want a JRPG game to get lost in, play that game. But man, you're in for a ride. But we've had kind of had on-off discussions like while like we were on hiatus too about like what did we define as like remakes, and I think Victor, you had like a better definition on that when it came to like.
How I said remakes is that you just it's the word itself, you know, like you're remaking the game, right? You're creating the game again. Like I don't know how anyone, to be completely honest, I don't know how anyone confuses that with remaster.
That was mostly on my part. No, that was honestly just because I kind of mixed the two together. I thought remasters were higher than remakes, when in reality, remasters just mean graphic fidelity, where remake is literally remaking the entire game. I'm like, the words themselves should have clicked in my head, but it didn't, unfortunately.
Shame.
But nonetheless,
but either way, remaking, it's definitely, I feel, even though they're taking the same story, it's still a new game, right? It's like a new game plus kind of a deal whenever you finish a campaign. That's kind of like how a remake is.
Yeah, like let's look, for example, the Final Fantasy VII remakes too. I would say 100%, despite everything else too, when I said that was an exception, I think with my new stance on this, I do believe that Final Fantasy VII Remake does deserve to be in a Video Game Award nomination. Just because the fact alone too, that like the game is very much improved from the previous iteration, just on the levels of different ways how you can play the game now.
Of course, I mean, like that's the whole point of a remake.
Yeah.
They just think the only thing that's the same mostly is the story. I mean, even then, the story is still different. In the remake.
Yeah. So if anything, this
it is a new game.
Yeah. So I will throw this question for you, Loy, because this actually applies with you, because this is where the survey covers here. Do you think in this case you would have played the original game had you not like know that there was a remake? Or would you have preferred to play the remake over the original? Or actually, sorry, I feel like the question I did kind of butchered it there.
No, I understand the question, but it's just more
a little bit more thought-provoking, a little bit.
I just don't want to give like a half-ass answer, low-key. So.
Well, while Lloyd thinks, let me tell you.
I think I would honestly just play the remake, because it's still, story-wise, it's going to be the same, right? For the most part, it's going to be the same. It's going to be a different gameplay, and it's going to cater towards somebody that, like me, I don't really care, per se, that it's like more of an action RPG, real-time action RPG, compared to the turn-based people enjoy. Like, we know somebody that cannot stand turn-based, but playing like this would be like a good introduction, because it's, you know, more action packed, and you can still get the same feeling from like all the story and the cutscenes and all that, just by still playing the same game but in a different version, per se. So it's more, I think it's okay for like for these games to be like remade, just to introduce it to an audience that didn't really grow up with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say a hot take wise too. I think in this case, Final Fantasy VII, people that complained that it wasn't a turn-based game too, I think the game is better when it was an action RPG, when it became an action RPG. I'm gonna say that. I get that in this case. Yeah.
Turn-based, it really depends. I mean, like in Final Fantasy, I've already moved away from turn-based. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna do turn-based just for this remake.
Yeah, but then people are like, but what about Expedition 33? Don't you fucking lie to me. That shit is not a turn-based game.
Real.
You know, it's like, you fucking liars. If anything, Expedition 33, the game that I feel like is going to be Indie Game of the Year and award nomination, it is a game that it, yes, on surface is a turn-based game, but there's so much more interactions that I feel like it's an evolution of a turn-based game, which I do think Square Enix could have an opportunity to explore this type of system as well if they wanted to.
How does it work?
So
'Cause
in
I
this,
haven't played.
so Expedition 33 is like on paper, it looks like your typical standard like SMT like action or JRPG turn-based system too. But then there are things too whenever you attack as well that there are QTE events that you press to enhance your damage. Or when the enemy attacks you, there are other QTE stuff that it triggers so that you either take reduce or you take no damage. So that it's more interactive versus like, okay, I'll just pray that like RNG doesn't kill me this turn.
Yeah. So you can in Expedition 33, you can actually you actively try to parry, so that way you take no damage, and you can
Yeah.
also like deal more damage the more you parry, essentially, because everybody like I mean, it's been out for several months now. So there's a bot like the final boss is like what I think was Simon or something.
Yeah.
He goes into like multiple phases, and these sword strikes. Imagine like Cloud's Buster Sword and fucking Sephiroth's like fucking sword, right? You combine the two, it's long and it gets pretty much the best of both worlds. It's like fucking big as shit and it's also long, and he's hitting you and you have to like time these hits to like parry, 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 parry. Then by the end of the parry sequence, you get to fucking like do damage to him. So before your turn even like starts, like all that turn-based bullshit, you get to like it's like outside of your turn, you get to do damage. So it's more interactive.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's pretty much an evolution to the turn-based genre too. Now, depending on you Puritans out there that say no, it has to be strictly this too, just run emulators at that point. I don't know what to tell you.
They're like, oh, I back in my day. I don't give a fuck about back in your day, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
If you are fucking below 30, we are in the same age group.
yeah, yeah. And also,
I
guess
do agree that argument of back in my day is kind of stupid.
yeah, because guess
Well,
fucking
the whole point is to improve over time, right? Like, why do you want to be stuck in the past so much?
Yeah, and guess fucking what too? If you don't like what Square is making too, because they're not making turn-based tactic games, there are other game companies that are doing that shit for you. Look at Atlas. Look at all their
I'm sure.
SMT, the Persona games.
Yeah, I'm sure that with these people, they don't want to play any other company's game, kind of thing.
It's like that's why.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's like these guys are basically just there to fucking complain and bitch and moan. Like I 100% agree too for other people that they don't like listening to gamers because a lot of times a lot of them don't play actually games. They're just there to bitch and complain because they are. I don't want to feel like I am saying a lot of stuff that does sound me too, but it is very much like jobless behavior, jobless bitchless behavior.
Bitchless behavior.
I gotta say it that way, man. It do be like that with the way how we.
You ain't wrong.
I ain't wrong, but it also isn't right for me to call it out as such, right?
I think we should go back to where we should shame people and make them self-aware of what they're saying.
Yeah, we'll see how long that takes for that.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes from here on. But nonetheless, too, I want to at least talk about remakes. Why am I really talking about remakes here? So a recent survey that got posted here, and it actually showcased a lot of very interesting. How do I word it? A lot of interesting numbers and statistics that kind of showcase that maybe remakes are not just cash grabs either. Maybe there's actual potentiality that remakes are actually impacting a lot of people's like way how they play games. For example, we look at Elder Scrolls Oblivion. As it states right now, that game has already sold more copies or more units sold than the original game back when it released in 1990 something. Let me check that real quick.
Let's just say it's an old ass game and people are playing it more. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you mentioned too. it was a game that, oh, it's in 2006. There it is.
Well, it ain't that old.
It ain't that old, but here's the thing about it that makes it put into perspective here. I think we have more players that are playing games nowadays than we did back in the early 2000s. Do you agree?
I mean, I think now that we just have more access to like these things, there's like digital downloads, like cloud gaming, like maybe like there. Whenever you like Black Fridays nowadays, how about that? Like when you wanted to buy a game, you won't wait for it to go on sale. Usually
Yeah,
Black Friday is like the time period for you to wait, save up your money. If you're like a teenager, you save up money that did chores or anything, then buy your games because that's your hard-earned money.
yeah,
Nowadays, you have it like you have a system. Like you can have a Switch, you can have like an Xbox or like a PS5, and they're all just on that console. You just go to like this like the store, the Xbox store or like the App Store and the PS5 or
right.
the App Store, and it's just more accessible. I think that also plays a factor. Maybe they just didn't print out a lot of copies or make a lot of copies back, like physical copies. Now that there's physical copies and digital copies, I think that does play a factor in the number of sales that are happening today.
Yeah, but I do like to still point out that I did mention that, like, yeah, I think it's more accessible, but I do genuinely believe there are more gamers that are like actually in the market space than there ever was before, in my opinion.
I think just more normalized, I guess. Just like
maybe more normalized. Like people are just playing more games. Like people find games a lot more, I guess, a part of their lives now, unlike back then, where it's just for quote unquote nerds.
Yeah, man, remember the whole thing too, where like everything was just like, oh, that's so fucking nerdy, whatnot. So you would get like almost like socially like shamed if you were caught like playing like some obscure like RPG game, effectively, and not playing like a Halo title.
Any game, really.
Yeah, maybe not.
If you play any game, you're just a nerd. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck no. What are you doing, knitting?
So the things that was interesting about this here, where you have in this case a poll that got released here, where it says almost all gamers have played a remake or a remaster, and most find them appealing. So what that really means is that like remakes and remasters do the job that they're supposed to be. They are actually successful graphical enhancements to the original games, right? And not only that too, I think
maybe it's not just graphic we're talking about remakes. It's not just graphic enhancements. It's
like the gameplay, yeah.
Because you're playing a different game. Like going back to Final Fantasy VII example.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very slow turn-based game, and now everything is real time.
Yeah,
the battles are all real time. It's definitely a completely different gameplay.
Yeah, and even with like the Elder Scroll 4 Oblivion remastered, even though remastered is in its name, I think it feels off to call it that too, because it was essentially a remake from like the way how the core gameplay was built from the ground up. Because I think remastered itself too is a little bit like a error in this case how it should have been. I think this game was most definitely a remake. Yes, the jankiness of the gameplay is still kind of there too, but core system wise it is completely different, based on like it's not like anything that's remaining from the old game to here, which obviously you wouldn't be able to remaster a new game and make it work in new hardware, especially how old a lot of the legacy systems are. So there's that. But in the research there was a research that found 85% of those who played a remaster or remake in the last year did so despite not playing the original version of the game, meaning that they're wording it as like people that are playing remakes or remasters, they're actually new players playing it for the game that it is, and they have not played the original game. Which I'm perfectly fine.
I never played the original.
Up to a certain extent. Let's see. Okay, so here's the thing. With Final Fantasy VII, the storyline is like 90% the same, right?
Yeah.
With Modern Warfare, it's a remake, even though they don't specify it.
Mm-hmm.
The story is completely different.
Yeah,
So
that's the
there's
yeah.
caveats. So there's caveats to this whole thing.
Yeah, there's caveats to that, and it's like Call of Duty that is still classified as a remake by our definition and standards here. Now,
It is a
there's also
remake.
and then there's a
It's
funny
just
thing with The Last of Us getting a remaster, and I'm like, dog, that's a PS4 game. The fuck you mean it's getting remastered for a PS5?
Hmm.
Just say,
see remaster is just cash grabbing, bro. It's not
yeah,
like
yeah,
they're not making the game. They're not making the game better or anything. Like it from the most part, it's probably not even like any
mhm,
different.
yeah.
It's
Let's
like on
see,
the Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1 remaster. It's literally the same thing.
yeah, and but regardless whatsoever too, we have in this case a lot of these that are a lot of these surveys and statistics here that are actually kind of positive about remaster remakes. I don't know if that's on purpose either too, but depending on how they are garnering a survey here, it is saying this that 80% of people that submitted their polls to agree 80% agree that remakes and remasters are comforting and nostalgic, which yeah, it's a pretty much it's an old game that you
Okay.
guys are playing.
Well, remasters, no, because you're just literally playing that same game.
Yeah,
Remakes, kind of. The story is there, but everything else isn't. So
yeah,
you're not getting the nostalgia, but you do kind of get an idea of what the story was about originally.
yeah. And you're just having it in a different medium and format now. Like look at Resident Evil 4 remake, or they call it remastered, which is again, I really wish that they really did define this with how we're defining it now, because remake makes better sense for Resi 4 because they're
Yeah.
using the new like Capcom engine or the new RE engine to make their games, and it looks extraordinarily better, and also it plays better too. So there's that. But a valuable way to, but it's also a lot of people are actually treating remakes and remasters like honestly ways to get into the OG games without like having to run emulators or having to like find like an old ass coffee. Hopefully you have like a box TV that you could hook up to with a console that works. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean,
it's
people are not people. A lot of people aren't, tech savvy enough to run their own emulators. So of course, remaking a game is the best choice.
yeah. And I feel that I think like with anything else too, remakes honestly carry like just as much of a risk in like making games, like making a new game too. Albeit you are relying on the fact too that like there is like an original story you don't really have to design or develop around no more. But that is also always subject to change no matter what. Because let's be honest too, if we look at Resident Evil 7, we're gonna keep using this game as like a point of like reference to our arguments here because it is that good and it's that different and it defines remakes in our opinions. Even the Resident Evil 7 storyline is very much different in a sense that once you play further in the games in the next part, you know there's something different in this one immediately. But people that are experiencing this for the first time, you guys are all experiencing a new Resident Evil, not Resident Evil, Final Fantasy VII story than what we have seen. I feel like I messed up earlier too, but I will correct it. Final Fantasy VII was what I meant to say. So, there is, I think right now, there is still as much like risk in making a remake on here, such as if you fuck it up too, it will ruin the story experience that a lot of longtime fans have remembered too, and it will see as new players just another bad game, which that's something you don't want happening because that's a double-edged sword that's happening.
Yeah.
So
I say
it's a
Call of
very
Duty is a good example.
I
Call of Duty Modern Warfare remake is a good example.
yeah, Modern Warfare 1 was actually perfect. It was great. Modern Warfare 2 was lackluster, and 3 was just what the fuck happened.
That's just story wise. Gameplay wise, yeah, it's also the same. So
Yeah,
nothing really like changed.
Damn, they really fell back to what people disliked about Call of Duty games back then.
Yeah.
They even got that part correct.
Hey man, part of nostalgia, dude.
God.
Oh, nostalgia.
Yeah, but right now we see that then Battlefield, the next Battlefield game coming out too. I'm a little bit excited on that, but we'll see more. Probably get that shit on sale. I'm not gonna lie, but it's something to make note here that now the real question I would love to ask y'all here. Knowing this, what would be the one game that you would love to see remade? Knowing the fact that I do think that there is potential now too. And honestly speaking, I'm okay with them remaking games so as long as it's like it fits the criteria of a remade game.
Halo.
Halo. And Victor, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this.
No, no.
I don't want your hand to be held.
Halo Studios, formerly Halo Studios, formerly 343 Studios, is remaking Halo Combat Evolved.
Bro, this ain't remake, bro. There's always news that they're doing it, they're not doing it. I don't know, man.
They're still
put it out there. I'm just gonna put it out there and say that I want a Halo remake.
It's like at this point, doesn't matter which studio.
Doesn't matter. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. That's how I see it.
All right.
Fair enough.
But I feel like you have like a specific thing with that, even though you said all that.
I mean, how do I? It's kind of hard to explain because I do want Halo Infinite kind of like game style and gameplay to be combat evolved.
Right.
With the original story, of course, but it expanded story like that follows more towards the like the universe outside of Halo that we don't see in the games, or the universe, like the whole storyline outside of the games. You know, it's like Halo's a very expansive universe, and I want to see more of that in the game.
Yeah. Albeit too, a lot of people will probably bitch about that's not covering the Master Chief, but let's be fucking honest, dude. We just want a good Halo game. Because we all understand too, that the story itself is great. The world building is good.
I wouldn't mind the new stories involving a lot more Spartans. You know, it's just like Reach. Everybody still loved Reach, but it didn't have Chief in it.
And that is true. But neither did ODST.
Yeah. Okay. Well, granted, ODST is a
thing. Come on, man.
Okay. Shut up. They're not fun.
Man.
Jeez, orbital drop.
It made you know what? It made me feel like we were in Spartans by the amount of times I get my shit slapped.
Bro, by the time you even drop down, you're fucking concussed. You can't like speak in straight fucking coherent sentences.
You have a high chance of dying before you even land, bro.
Yeah. It comes with the job, I guess. Man, what a very interesting game that came out though. Nonetheless,
it was a good attempt by Bungie to do something different. I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm. I like Buck at least.
I think Reach was the better attempt because at least it's just about Spartans and not just like a bunch of ODSTs. Granted, I know a lot of Halo fans out there have always wanted to be a Marine. They should make something. There's a game mode. They don't have to be a separate game about it, but just a game mode, just being a Marine on the battlefield.
Get once shot by a grunt.
Basically. Get slapped by a grunt, yeah.
God. Oh, no, wait, it has to be truly to scale too. Like the grunts are actually as tall as us.
Mm-hmm. Technically, they're taller than normal humans.
They have to do that at least. If that's a fucking game mode, oh my god, that would be absolutely terrifying. Imagine it's looking at the elite.
Dude, you just walk up to a grunt and it's like bigger than you, you know?
Yeah.
Imagine a fucking brute.
Brute's like fucking 10 feet tall compared to you, bro. Like,
Jesus Christ.
And we got that. Then we go into the fucking hunters.
Oh, that is,
you know.
The
I feel
Halo
like,
enemy,
like
Halo
I feel like
versus actually kind of horrific, actually.
I feel like a marine, like playing as a marine, is just a horror game and not actual Halo.
Yeah, you're just trying to survive, and you're carrying a gun that's bigger than you. The assault rifle is bigger than you.
That would be great.
God. Albeit, I do wish that I do want them to like actually tackle on that too. Like in this case, like very much like Spartans themselves can also wield like weapons too, but then it's gonna have to look like comically small on them, so they treat like assault rifles as SMGs.
Yeah, basically.
God, imagine that appearance
Or
though too.
or maybe what they can do is they can do where Marines and Spartans have their own weapons, own set of weapons.
Yeah,
I
albeit
think personally that would make
yeah.
the most sense.
Yeah, that would make the most sense if you're creating like this whole thing. But mind you, the story kind of made it seem that all the money spent was on the Mjolnir armor set and not its weapon systems.
Well, that's fine, but in reality, it doesn't matter. Like humanity
Yeah.
is just building a ton of brand new Forerunner-based ships nowadays. After Halo 4, they started building like, these brand new class of ships. So I'm sure they have money for a few guns.
For a few Spartan specific guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
dude,
eat the
wouldn't
Spartan
do
laser.
it. Hey, that Spartan laser was badass. I was like, hell yeah, dude.
They call it a Spartan laser, but Marines can still handle that. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Oh man, Johnson was firing that shit like it was nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, Johnson was like the exceptional Spartan that never got classified as one.
Exactly. He's like, I'm gonna be a Marine to debuff myself.
Jesus. But yeah, I would like to see that too. I think we talked about it a little bit too, that like that would be like really cool if anything, let's be honest too, I would rather not like have the Halo game be worked on by fucking Halo Studios or 343 or anybody that Microsoft has touched their dicks with.
That's hard, bro. I mean, it's a Microsoft IP. They're not just gonna give it away.
Yeah, or at least give it to a studio that actually would do it better too, because obviously your fucking
But
Halo Studios is
it'll still be under Microsoft, so
yeah, it'll
it's
still
not gonna be any different.
it's not going to be different too, but it's obviously the studio itself that's developing it is the problem.
Well, that's only because they're under the microscope of Microsoft.
Oh, God.
That's the problem. It's not because that the studios aren't good enough to do it.
God.
Damn.
Microsoft, you had the one exceptional goal to make your AI just be called Cortana, and you didn't take that opportunity. I am so
they
upset
should.
with you.
I mean,
That
okay, granted, they did have Cortana, and everybody hated her. So
yeah, but regardless, too, this could have been an amazing rebranding that y'all could do.
I mean, true, but
Regardless, I do wish for remakes of like that too, but I think like let me think. What's another obscure time? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna fucking say it too. I hope they in this case, maybe not in this case remaking, but I hope they continue like in this case the games like Infamous, for example. For those that don't know, Infamous was a sucker punch game by Sony title, where it was a single player action adventure game, kinda, where you mostly play as superheroes that are called conduits that just have abilities and powers that are based off of their surroundings. For example, Desmond Rowe from Second Sons had, in this case, the ability to absorb like things that are around him from other conduits. For example, he can manipulate smoke or like use shit for like smoke abilities, either becoming into a blob of smoke or shoot like smoke bullets at people, and he can suck off anything that gives off smoke elements from the environment.
Hey,
Something
yo,
like that.
stepping off.
Something like that. Or even though that sounds like really weird to like use smoke ability, the other cool one is in this case another character you meet that has neon abilities. And what you see him do is that like if you see a neon sign, you can absorb the neon energy into you and use that as like fuel to your abilities.
That's pretty
Like
neat.
that shit was kind of cool. Or if you want to go like original Infamous, where you can absorb like electricity from things to fuel your lightning attacks. Like shit like that. That was actually really dope as hell. I really want to see like that title do something, because it actually had a really cool thing to work around with, because it was sort of like a semi X-Men storyline of like humanity versus like these super enhanced people with practically freak abilities that people do call them freaks. So, needless to say, too, I really do wish they kind of go with that, but less by me, they are working on other stuff too, like for example, the Ghost of Yote. So, there's that.
And that's pretty fire, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're saying.
at least that's
Fire,
my
bro.
case too. Maybe it's not a remake; it would just be like them just trying to make a continuation of the game. Oh my god, what is a remake? What is a remake that you would like to see, Loy, happen?
Jack.
Oh, oh, okay.
Dude, I fucking love playing Jack. I never got to play the first one, but when I had my friend, like my friend
Like-
had Jack 2, and I was playing that shit. I was like, this is so fucking fun.
I am surprised about that, actually. Holy shit!
Yeah, I brought that from deep in the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Like, this is almost like literally. This is the Sony Prime era of like IP titles that they were actually really good with, like Spyro or Ratchet and Clank. Given Ratchet and Clank is still being made here and there too, and it's still a beloved IP for a lot of people in a Sony sphere. But honestly, a remake of Jack, that would be that would be something actually. That would be something. If they do that too and they bring back like the OG fans, maybe that might save like Sony's title of like wanting to do like live service game titles, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen with the current way how Sony is heading. Yeah, it's a little bit of sad part too. Hell, I will say this, fuck it. Astrobot is just a remake of Little Big Planet. I said it.
Damn, that's crazy.
You play as like a amorphous player or thing here that you can design your stuff, design your amorphous blob in or bot into any of the Sony's known IPs that they have in their collection. I'm just saying here.
Now, why are you saying this, Brian?
He stands on this.
I stand on this shit. I don't care. Astrobot, if anything, sure, I'll let them take the Game of the Year nomination. I'll take the Game of the Year award then too. It was a lot of bullshit that like Black Myth Wukong didn't get that. Although to be fair though, we'll see more about it too because they are making another title game with it. So we'll see more of that eventually. But speaking in the video game awards, actually, before we continue that, I need to figure out what the fuck kind of game do I want to see remade. Shit.
Yeah, right. You asked the question. What would you want?
Fuck. There's a lot of games that I would love to see it be remade. But you know what? Capcom, if you have the balls, remake Mega Man Zero. Not a remaster. Remake it into a 3D action platformer based game.
Interesting.
If you are brave,
honestly.
if you are brave enough to do that shit, hell yeah, I am in. And guess what too? I am in this case Silk to also want to play the new Ninja Gaiden game. If you can make Mega Man Zero play like Ninja Gaiden, I am forever yours.
Oh yeah.
Kind of, you know.
This is not a joke. This is a promise. If you do this, Capcom.
Freaky there.
He's gonna make love to each and every one of the executives at Capcom at this point.
Look, man. Look, I'll be honest too. Capcom is doing almost decently well with what they're doing. Besides their whole, oh yeah, Capcom Cup 2, in order for you to watch some of our games, it's pay-per-view now. And then we'll eventually release replays over the weeks. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Hell no, what the fuck?
Indeed, hell no,
Real
what
though.
the fuck, indeed.
Yeah, anyway, so we're just gonna ignore that, right?
Yeah, dude.
So
Dun,
listen,
dun, dun,
listen to me, Capcom. If you fucking do this, my life is yours. I will be your shill.
Good fucking boy.
dun. He'll be your eternal servant.
This is like how much I fucking love the Mega Man series entirely, but I most specifically love Mega Man Zero for what it is. I've already said it multiple times on the podcast who like how much like Mega Man Zero really does mean to me, and I still like struggle to like beat the all their games on their hardest difficulty. But man, were they still fun. I do sometimes I do think too some of the game designs were very janky for what it is, but hey, this was them making a game for the Game Boy Advance. And so more or less too, this is them continuing from their last title, the Mega Man X series. So I can't really say too much about that. But again, with the way how games are being made now too, give me a 3D action platformer game for Mega Man Zero.
Yeah, give me Jack. Yeah.
Straight up to if we're gonna be like bringing back shit from like the dead too, that's a IP title I want to see come back. Mega Man games. And I don't care if people are gonna complain of like, but it's not a 2D action side scroller. Who the fuck cares? Let's actually try something new, people.
Remake.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So
Baby.
hell, you even have Capcom. You even have a survey. There's actually quite a majority amount of people that would love to see a Mega Man game, and that's not your shitty fucking mobile game.
Damn. That's crazy.
Anyways, but that's just me stating my fact on that note there too. I will say for the news that I will say for expect to the upcoming future, we will be doing another video game award nomination, hot or trash pick too. Once that list comes out next month, actually. Oh shit, it's actually next month.
Big Ben on us.
God damn. But I'm also gonna be trying to see if I can entertain like other streaming ideas too. I'll probably do like another probably like hidden or sneak upload of another podcast that definitely was scuffed because of me too. So maybe we'll see that in the future. Probably be like a private session of me just doing that and trying to use B-roll images too, or b-roll footage, trying to learn how to do more video editing stuff and be like a voiceless videographer essay person. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, this boy's really saying a lot of words, bro.
Man, but regardless, it's been a long month, honestly, and I'm glad to be back here. And I'm glad that at least this will be up to, and hopefully nothing goes wrong in the middle of the editing process or uploading this video. Please, let nothing happen.
Wish him the best.
Yeah. But to anybody else too, do y'all want to send a last farewell statement before we end tonight's episode on?
It's good to be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think we do needed that break, honestly. There's a lot of things that we could talk about too, and for this too, I will be entertaining more of the idea that I'll try to get more people on this conversation too. That also means that I actually start having to make all the stuff need for the new guests that will be arriving here too. Not really new guests, they're just old guests coming back. So there's that.
Reoccurring guests.
Yeah, reoccurring. That's the word there. Fuck.
Got you.
It's a lot more words I didn't get there.
Yeah, but anyways, thank you all for tuning in for tonight's podcast too. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you later. See ya.
Adios. I love you, Brian.
What?
Oh, wild.